60 questions, 110 points. How many can you score? Let's get started. Round 1 is your true or false round. 10 statements, just answer whether they're true or false. 4-second timer, 1 point for each correct answer. Good luck, let's crack on with the quiz. Question 1. All British tanks come fitted with a kettle. Is that true or false? It is in fact true. Question 2. Modern British polymer banknotes are designed to have a life expectancy of 50 years. That is false. It's approximately 15 years. Question 3. In ancient Greece, the punishment for an adulterous male was the insertion of a large radish into his rectum. That is true. Question 4. Before embarking on a career in music, David Bowie trained to be a church minister. That is false. Question 5. The Bible is the most stolen book in the world. That is true. Question 6. If you keep a goldfish in the dark, it will eventually turn black. That is false. Question 7. The plane that crashed carrying Buddy Holly was called American Pie. That is also false. Question 8. Hippos defecate themselves upon hearing the call of an unfamiliar hippo. That is true. They are marking territory. Question 9. McDonald's is the world's largest distributor of toys. That is true. And question 10. Until President Kennedy was killed, it wasn't a federal crime to assassinate the president. That is also true. Round 2 is your science and nature round. 10 open questions, a 6-second timer this time, and 2 points for each correct answer. Question 11. In which part of the plant does photosynthesis occur? It occurs in the leaves. Photosynthesis primarily occurs in the leaves where cells contain chloroplasts, the green pigment that captures sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. Question 12. What is the main function of white blood cells in the human body? They are to fight infection. White blood cells are the body's defence system, identifying and destroying bacteria, viruses, and other harmful invaders. Question 13. Which planet has the most moons as of June 2025? And the correct answer here is Saturn. As of recent counts, Saturn has over 140 confirmed moons, surpassing Jupiter. Its largest moon, Titan, is even bigger than the planet Mercury. Question 14. What's the hardest natural substance on Earth? That would be diamond. Question 15. Which vitamin is produced when the skin is exposed to sunlight? That would be vitamin D. When UVB rays from the sun hit the skin, they trigger the production of vitamin D, essential for healthy bones, immune function and mood regulation. Question 16. Which gas makes up the majority of the air we breathe? And that would be nitrogen. About 78% of the air we breathe is nitrogen. Oxygen makes up around 21%, while carbon dioxide accounts for less than 1%. Question 17. What kind of energy is stored in a stretched rubber band? And the correct answer is potential energy. When a rubber band is stretched, it stores elastic potential energy, and once it's released, that energy quickly transforms back into kinetic energy, making the band snap back together. Question 18. Which organ in the human body is primarily responsible for detoxification? And that would be your liver. The liver filters toxins from the blood, processes drugs and alcohol, and helps break down harmful substances, making it the body's main detox centre. Question 19. Which part of a cell contains the genetic material? And that would be the nucleus. The nucleus acts like the cell's control centre, storing DNA, the genetic blueprint that directs all of the cell's functions and development. And question 20. What is the name of the largest part of the human brain? That is called the cerebrum. The cerebrum makes up about 85% of the brain's weight and is responsible for higher brain functions like thinking, memory and voluntary movement. Round 3 is called Which of These? 10 multiple choice questions, a 6-second timer and 2 points for each correct answer. Question 21. Which of these would a sommelier normally recommend? Is that coffee, cheese or wine? They would normally recommend wine. Question 22. Which of these singers was not in the group Destiny's Child? Is that Beyonce Knowles, Kelly Rowland or Nicole Scherzinger? It was Nicole Scherzinger. Nicole Scherzinger rose to fame as the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. Destiny's Child iconic lineup included Beyonce Knowles, Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams. Question 23. Which of these concepts was introduced by Sigmund Freud? Is that cognitive dissonance, fight or flight, or the Oedipus complex? It was the Oedipus complex. Freud's Oedipus complex theory suggests that children may have unconscious desires for their opposite sex parent and view their same sex parent as a rival. Question 24. Which of these is not a capital city? Antananarivo, Marrakesh or Sarajevo? It is Marrakesh. While Marrakesh is a major city in Morocco, the actual capital is Rabat. Antananarivo is the capital of Madagascar and Sarajevo is the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Question 25. Which of these books was written by Charles Dickens? Is that Middlemarch, The Mystery of Edwin Drood or Vanity Fair? It was The Mystery of Edwin Drood. The Mystery of Edwin Drood was Dickens' final novel and was left unfinished at the time of his death in 1870, making its ending one of literature's most enduring mysteries. Question 26. Which of these animals is not a marsupial? Is that an opossum, a Tasmanian devil, or a sloth? And the correct answer here is the sloth. The sloths are placental mammals, while koalas and opossums are marsupials, animals that carry and nurse their young in pouches. Question 27. Which of these countries uses the euro as its currency? Is that the Czech Republic, Latvia, or Romania? It is in fact Latvia. Latvia adopted the euro in 2014. Romania and the Czech Republic still use their national currencies, the leu and the koruna respectively. Question 28. Which of these cities has not hosted the modern Summer Olympics? Is that Antwerp, Helsinki, or Madrid? And the correct answer is Madrid. They have bid multiple times to host the Summer Olympics, but have never been successful. Antwerp hosted in 1920 and Helsinki in 1952. Question 29. Which of these early social media platforms was founded first? Was that Bebo, Facebook, or MySpace? It was MySpace. MySpace launched in 2003 and quickly became the dominant social network, followed by Bebo in 2005, before Facebook took over as the dominant platform in 2008. And question 30. Which of these actresses has not won an Academy Award? Would that be Cate Blanchett, Glenn Close, or Sally Field? And the correct answer is Glenn Close. Glenn Close has received 8 Oscar nominations without ever winning. In contrast, Sally Field and Cate Blanchett have both won twice. How are we all doing so far? Hopefully those rounds weren't too taxing for you. If you're new to the channel, I'm Alan, your regular quizmaster and host, and if you're new, drop me a comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. We've reached the halfway bonus round, and it is your 9-letter anagram. 30 seconds to solve it. I will give you a clue after 15 seconds, but 10 points if you can solve it before the clue, 5 points after the clue. And your conundrum today is tent share. And your clue is warns of harm. And the correct answer is threatens. Well done if you got that correct. Hopefully you managed to smash the anagram and that you're keeping track of your scores. Remember to post your scores in the comments below at the end of the video. Round 4 is your round on 1990s movies. It's a picture round. You will see 10 still images of movies. Just name the movie. 6-second timer, 1 point for each correct answer. Question 31. Just name the movie. And that is from Casino. Question 32. That one is from Muriel's Wedding. Question 33. That is a still from Boys in the Hood. Question 34. And that one is from Groundhog Day. Question 35. Is Dumb and Dumber? Question 36. And that one is from the film Seven. Question 37. Is from Thelma and Louise. Question 38. And that is from As Good As It Gets. Question 39. That is from The Rock. And lastly in this round, question 40. And that is from the film Good Will Hunting. Are you up to date on your news and current events? Because round 5 is on current affairs. 10 open questions, it's a 6-second timer, and 2 points for each correct answer. Question 41. Which international football team won the UEFA Nations League final in June 25? That was Portugal. Portugal won the game 5-3 on penalties, and Cristiano Ronaldo lifted the trophy at the age of 40 after scoring his 138th international career goal. Question 42. The 51st G7 summit will be held in which country? It will be held in Canada. Question 43. How many countries are fully affected by President Trump's recently reinstated US travel ban? There are a total of 12 countries affected. President Trump's order bans citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States, and a further 7 countries have partial restrictions. Question 44. Which Dutch city is set to host the NATO Leaders Summit in June 2025? That would be The Hague. The Hague is known as the International City of Peace and Justice. It's home to more than 200 international organisations, including the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. Question 45. What was the name of the ship carrying Greta Thunberg as part of an aid mission to the Gaza Strip in June 25? The ship was called the Maldine. The Maldine was originally a luxury yacht repurposed for humanitarian missions. Despite being a peaceful civilian vessel, it was intercepted in international waters. Question 46. Which male tennis star won the 2025 French Open Tennis Championships? And that was Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz beat Yannick Sinner in a match that lasted 5 hours and 29 minutes. Alcaraz recovered from 2 sets down and saved 3 championship points to retain his French Open title. Question 47. The 5th instalment of the John Wick film franchise hit the big screens in June 25. What is the film called? It is called Ballerina. Officially marketed as From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, the film focuses on an assassin trained in the traditions of the Rusker-Roman organisation that sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. Question 48. Which Australian football manager was sacked by Tottenham Hotspur in June after winning the UEFA Europa League final? His name was Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou led Spurs to their first major trophy in 17 years, then was dismissed 2 weeks later due to poor Premier League performances. Question 49. It was announced in June that the UK Brit Awards will be held in which UK city in 2026 and 27? They will be held in Manchester. The Brit Awards are to be held in Manchester for the next 2 years, the first time the ceremony has taken place outside London since awards began in 1977. And question 50. Which tech billionaire recently fell out with Donald Trump over Trump's proposed tax cuts and spending bill? And that was Elon Musk. Now, if you've made it this far in the quiz and you're enjoying the quiz, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. It really helps YouTube push this video out to a wider audience. Now, I know lots of you nowadays watch on large screen TVs, over 90% of yous in fact, but that doesn't stop you getting involved in the comments. Grab your phone, link to the channel, drop me a comment down below. Moving on, round 6 is your general knowledge round. 10 questions, 2 points if you can answer before the multiple choice options appear, 1 point after they appear. Question 51. The Ishihara test is a test for what? Is that colour blindness, hearing loss, or reflex response? The correct answer is colour blindness. The Ishihara test was developed by Dr. Shinobu Ishihara in 1917. It uses a series of coloured dot patterns to detect red and green colour deficiencies. Question 52. Who is the current Secretary General of the United Nations? Is that Antonio Guterres, Ban Ki-moon, or Kofi Annan? It is Antonio Guterres. Guterres is the 9th UN Secretary General and was reappointed for a second term in June 2021 to serve through to the end of 2026. Question 53. Which artist painted the Garden of Earthly Delights? Was that Albrecht Dürer, Hieronymus Bosch, or Peter Bruegel? It was Hieronymus Bosch. It was painted around the year 1500. The Garden of Earthly Delights is a surreal and symbolic triptych that continues to fascinate art lovers with its bizarre dreamlike imagery. Question 54. In computing, what does HTTP stand for? Is that High-Tech Text Protocol, Host Track and Transfer Program, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol? It is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP is the foundation of data communication on the World Wide Web. It's what allows browsers to request and receive web pages from servers. Question 55. What is the name of the longest running musical in Broadway history? Is that Cats, Les Miserables, or Phantom of the Opera? It is Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera ran on Broadway for 35 years, from 1988 to 2023, making it the longest running show in Broadway history until its final curtain. Question 56. Which actor is set to portray Lex Luthor in the new forthcoming 2025 Superman film? Is that Bill Skarsgård, Michael Rosenbaum, or Nicholas Hoult? The correct answer is Nicholas Hoult. Hoult, known for roles in About a Boy and X-Men, takes on Lex Luthor in James Gunn's upcoming 2025 Superman reboot, portraying him as a powerful tech model and credible threat to the Man of Steel. Question 57. Which writing system comprises three main scripts: hiragana, katakana, and kanji? Is that Chinese, Japanese, or Korean? It is Japanese. The Japanese writing system uniquely combines three scripts: hiragana, used for native words, katakana, used for foreign terms, and kanji, characters borrowed from the Chinese script. Question 58. Archimedes' principle is also called what? Is that the law of displacement, the law of lift, or the law of pressure? It is the law of displacement. Archimedes' principle, or the law of displacement, explains how an object submerged in a fluid experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the fluid it displaces. Question 59. Which author wrote the 1952 novel East of Eden? Was that William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, or John Steinbeck? It was John Steinbeck. East of Eden is considered one of Steinbeck's masterpieces. He called it his magnum opus, and it explores deep themes of good, evil, and human choice across generations. And question 60. What does the Latin phrase Veni, Vidi, Vici mean? Does it mean I lived, I loved, I lost? I came, I saw, I conquered. I fought, I fell, I rose. It is I came, I saw, I conquered. Julius Caesar supposedly used this phrase in a letter to the Roman Senate in 47 before Common Era to describe a recent swift military victory. And that's it for today's quiz. I'll leave you with one final teaser on the screen, and you can get the answer to that on our Facebook page at The Real Pub Quiz. If you enjoyed today's quiz, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And if you enjoyed this one, why not try out these other quizzes here? Bye for now.